Sonic the Hedgehog is beloved far and wide by many, and a big reason why is because of the female characters and the way they are represented within the game. Now, we've previously gone over a few that I think were great examples of strong female characters in Sonic the Hedgehog, but I'm making a part 2 because obviously there's a lot more we can talk about. Anyway, without further ado, let's find out.
Alright, now last time we talked about Sally, Bunny, Amy, Sonia, Tikal, and Rouge, and this time we're going to be focusing on the characters Blaze, Cream, Wave, and Techno. Blaze and Cream were heavily requested on my last video. I'm just doing Wave and Techno because I really like them. But enough of that, let's begin with Blaze. Now, I didn't grow up with Blaze as a character. I knew she existed, but I didn't have any games with her in it besides Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games from 2008. But apparently, she first appeared in Sonic Rush and then moved on to appear in many other games before I feel like Sega started focusing on other characters more. Which is a shame because she's an amazing character. She is in IDW right now, which I really enjoy her character in, but I don't want to focus on that characterization right now. Blaze comes from the Soul Dimension, and is both a princess of that dimension and the guardian of the Soul Emeralds. She has the power of pyrokinesis, which allows her to manipulate fire and flame. Now, I've always loved a princess character that has a sense of individuality, and this is especially present in Blaze. Blaze is normally a calm, responsible, and level-headed person. She has a large sense of responsibility, which commonly pushes her to avoid her feelings and overwork herself. However, no matter how she is feeling, she always has an immense amount of physical, mental, and emotional strength. In fact, her motto, according to Sega, is, "My power is to protect the smiles of my people," which that sentence alone shows an incredible amount of compassion and responsibility. This, however, does not mean she's immune to emotions. She commonly acts brashly, and her temper will flare up. Despite a large amount of self-reliance, Blaze has slowly become a more social and friendly character in past characterizations, although this trait does not at all take away from her initiative and leadership. I wish I had Blaze as a character growing up. I definitely would have thought she was the coolest character ever, but what does Blaze represent in the context of a strong female character? A lot of things. First of all, she's a princess, which is commonly depicted in media as being dainty or weak, but Blaze challenges this stereotype with her strength, brains, and composure. She is also a highly skilled protector of her kingdom who constantly strategizes and, above all, loves the people of her kingdom and friends. Blaze, along with her powers, also has a super form due to the Soul Emeralds, which means she is the only Sonic female to have a super form, showcasing her immense strength. And no matter if she's in her normal form or her super form, she can easily keep up with her male counterparts. She's also blunt and commanding and is overall a wonderful character. Blaze seeks to achieve a persona that is not commonly seen with characters that have nobility in media, and I think that's really cool. Her persona is not completely defined by her nobility, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have traits that a princess would have. For instance, I love how Blaze is seen as a pillar of hope, a role that is commonly reserved for men in media. Blaze represents her people. She is their sole protector. I love how during her time as a popular character, she was constantly destroying stereotypes and fighting against these stereotypes. I can say with confidence that Blaze is one of the best written characters in Sonic. I think Blaze is the epitome of a strong female character, true to herself, able to adapt, and confident in her abilities. And you're probably wondering, well, if you thought that, why didn't you talk about her in your first video? Because I wanted to talk about women who were constantly belittled and put on the back burner. Blaze is truly a character written for the ladies, and I love that she has had such an impact on so much of the Sonic community. She's elegant, a princess, and ladylike, but yet not afraid to kick ass. She finds her identity in herself and her responsibilities, and I think that's amazing representation for kids and adults to have. By being inspirational and loyal to her beliefs, she shows all audiences that you can be a woman and be confident. You can be a woman who is feminine or one who can kick ass. You can be all these things, and you don't have to back down from your beliefs, interests, or anything else society might tell you to do. Society may try to cram you into a box, but Blaze is the perfect example of you can be as many things as you want. I don't know if the perfect example of a strong female character currently or even can exist, but I think Blaze is really close to being that character. I was actually surprised with how many people requested Cream because it seems like she's heavily disliked online for a handful of reasons, but I agree with you all. I love Cream the Rabbit. I love her characterizations in Sonic Advance, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic IDW. Cream is a well-mannered and polite young girl due to her mother's teachings. She values her friendships highly and sees the best in people no matter what. We also see a lot of traits in her that we would see in young children in the real world, such as being naive, innocent, and friendly, which could be seen as weaknesses or strengths depending on how you interpret those traits. She is also seen as being very curious and commonly wants to help out in situations no matter the danger or repercussions. I think that alone could make her a strong female character. Being curious, being able to help out, and facing danger no matter the consequences, that takes a lot of guts. I think a lot of people view Cream as weak, but we can look at early adaptations of her like Sonic Advance and later adaptations such as IDW and see that's not the case at all. In early adaptations like let's say Sonic Heroes, we see her being able to lift Amy and Big as she is the Fly character in the game, demonstrating physical strength. Along with this, she can also perform a spin attack in collaboration with Cheese to destroy robots. In recent adaptations such as IDW, she can be seen lifting her mother into the air during the Zomba arc and even fighting alongside Gemrel to fight Xena of the Deadly Six. But a strong female character isn't just physically strong. And this is the case with Cream. She isn't just physically strong. Within Sonic Heroes, we see her fighting for a cause, to get Chocola back. She's going on this journey to save a Chow. She's doing this for herself. Going back to the Zomba arc, Cream tries to keep everyone happy while dealing with the loss of her own mother, and on top of this even talks Whisper down from doing something drastic at one point, which has to be terrifying, demonstrating her emotional strength even at a young age. Even Sonic says that kid is going to grow up to be something amazing. Now you could argue with me and say, well, what about her original or earlier appearances? Well, even if you want to go all the way back to her first appearance in Sonic Advance, she can still spin dash and spin attack just like the other characters, and in the end can even take down the final boss just as well as the other characters. She still has that same emotional and physical strength that we see in recent adaptations. Although a lot of people view Cream as this annoying little girl, I think she's a really great character to remind younger audiences that even if you're as young as Cream herself, you can accomplish great things. I also think she teaches younger audiences that you can be brave and scared at the same time. You don't have to be physically strong to put up a good fight. You can always be merciful to enemies. Pretty good themes for a younger audience to learn. Cream represents a young go-getter, which I think is the attitude many kids have around that age that she is. I love Cream, and I hope she becomes playable in another game in the future. Wave made her appearance in Sonic Riders, and I actually rented this game from my local Blockbuster as a child and fell in love with it. Wave was and still is a really cool character. Not only is she a female antagonist, which I love, Wave is a tech expert for the Babylon Rogues and also races against others on her extreme gear. Wave is absolutely bursting with self-confidence, which we love to see in a female character. Not only is she confident, she's smart, talented, and level-headed. Wave tends to be hypercritical of others and their work and can come off as extremely arrogant. This is because she's passionate and knowledgeable about her work and what she loves. She has an immense amount of knowledge about racing and extreme gear and commonly steps into a leadership position with the Babylon Rogues. Why do I really enjoy Wave as a character? Well, I think it's cool that they made her confident and super talented, especially in the area of tech and mechanics. I think a lot of people view her as arrogant or bossy, but I think they're just mistaking that for a woman who has confidence. She's so confident, in fact, that she insults Tails to his face, a character that is literally known for being a genius in the Sonic universe. She's also clever, setting up traps and scheming with her team that no one seems to notice, not even Sonic or Tails. Not only that, but she is outgoing and will easily walk up to anyone and start having a conversation, unlike her teammates, which we see in the original Sonic Riders. Looking past her personality, she has some amazing skills that I thought were super cool when I was a kid. She can pull off a ton of acrobatics and tricks on her extreme gear, and when on her extreme gear, she's incredibly fast. She's also an engineering genius. She can modify pre-existing extreme gear, fix minor and major mechanical issues, craft new elements for extreme gear. She has so much experience as a mechanic and tech whiz, and I think she's commonly overshadowed by characters like Tails and Eggman, which is such a shame. Going to move move on because Wave wasn't even requested. I just really like her. I think many people view her as just a mean or cocky character, but in reality, she's so much more than that. Wave is the epitome of a strong woman who never backs down from a challenge. She knows what she's good at and lets you know about it as well, refusing to be silenced. She constantly demonstrated her skills against her male counterpart and succeeds against them. She really is an incredible character that I'm happy to see popping up again in IDW. Tekno the Canary is a character that exists within the bounds of the Fleetway Sonic comics. She joins the Freedom Fighters after being freed from working under Dr. Robotnik and quickly becomes Amy's best friend. Tekno was a weapon designer and engineer when she worked under Robotnik, which, just like Wave, is commonly overlooked due to the male characters who hold the same position. Not only this, but after joining the Freedom Fighters, she helps them by becoming their main engineer and technician. She does things like help Sonic investigate the new zones, she helps short fuse the Cybernick by improving his armor, and she has explosive earrings. We love a woman with functional accessories. Besides this, her and Amy had their own jobs within Fleetway. They were sent on missions to fight injustice throughout time and space, a very large and important role. And when she wasn't on missions fighting for justice, she was the main technician for the Freedom Fighters. She has so many wonderful friendships with fellow women and loves to build them up, most notably Amy, but in her brief Archie appearance, she compliments Sally for being in charge as well. We love women supporting women. Tekno was only in the Fleetway comics and one brief cameo in Archie, which I think is really sad because she has amazing potential as a character. Lou Stringer, the creator of Tekno, recently came out and said he always thought of Tekno as a girl because in the original story that's how she was written, but today she can be interpreted however fans want. And along with this, her love interest was written to be Short Fuse, but it wasn't pushed very hard in the comics because they didn't want it to be the main focus and to deter young readers. I love that they made this character who didn't cater to obsessing over a love interest, and not only that, the character very recently became a member of the LGBTQ community. These facts don't pertain to her character necessarily, but I just think they're really cool. Overall, Tekno is an amazing character for kids in general. Not only does she have a genius level IQ, great friendships with fellow women, and helps saves the world casually, she's also talented, friendly, and compassionate. I know Tekno is not well known. In fact, I just learned about her recently, but I'm happy with how well Sega wrote her, and I'm saddened by her disappearance. Tekno shows women they can be smart, strong, and still be desirable as a love interest, which fights the stereotype commonly seen in media that women need to submit to a man and his interests in order to get his interest. I think Tekno is also a great example of a woman with a thriving career that she's passionate and knowledgeable about. I know we will never get a comeback from Tekno, but damn is she a great character. Within the 2 videos I've made, you've probably seen me talk about a lot of strengths and weaknesses within these female characters and wondered, she's saying so many things are strong attributes. And that's because they are. So many of the women within the Sonic media have a wide variety of talents and skills, yet all build each other up and complement each other so effortlessly. I remember growing up and just being in love with the women from Sonic the Hedgehog, thinking they were so cool. And as a kid, I had no friends who were girls that enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog. I usually had to play with the boys who liked Sonic, and they would still make fun of me for being a girl. But Sonic the Hedgehog was there in my childhood, constantly reminding me that women can be whatever they want. And I'm so glad that over the years it has become so positive for women, and now I see women growing into it, little girls growing into it, and people just falling in love with the characters and the franchise just as I did so many years ago. I won't be making a part 3 because I want to dedicate my time to other videos, but let these videos serve as a reminder that Sega writes amazingly talented women into their canon to uplift women in real life. These women within Sonic the Hedgehog were role models for me growing up, and I know and hope that they will continue to be role models for young girls. I genuinely hope you enjoyed seeing these lovely ladies represented on screen as much as I enjoyed talking about them, and I will see you in the next video.